Can the CIA make someone disappear without a trace? You bet they can. And they do all the time.
Watch this at your own risk. Tonight, I'm bringing you the darkest videos from TikTok that you did not know existed. And it gets way darker than you ever imagined. And I know what you're thinking, Sean, it cannot possibly get any worse than it's already been. I know it's Christmas time and you've been in the holly jolly spirit, but there is nothing holly or jolly about these videos. And I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to handle it, but if you think you can, make sure you watch till the end because the mainstream will never show you this. And don't watch alone, because this is gonna get terrifying. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 60% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
How dangerous is TikTok?
How many times have you thought about a topic and then you didn't even say anything about it? You didn't Google it, you didn't nothing, and then it just pops up in your feed the next day. There's a lot of money and a lot of bright minds that are coming up with these methodologies.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if the algorithm's based on you or you are based on the algorithm.
I think, yeah, that's a cool way to put it.
Do you think they're tracking our keylogs?
Keylog meaning like just like what you're typing into the app?
Yeah.
I would say it's a possibility. You could confirm that though by proxying the traffic. Let's say you connect to Wi-Fi in your house, you run something like a web debugger or something like that. You're going to see all the traffic coming in and out. And if you type a character and you see that packet being sent to the server, we could confirm it literally. They got caught at some point with stealing your clipboard data, meaning like whatever you had copied. They try to take as much demographic information as they can. If you don't know what the product is, then you are the product.
That's honestly so sweet of them to track our every move. They care about us so much that they want to know what we like, what we care about. Wow, that's not disturbing at all. Alright, bro, you did not have to do me like that.
He smiled for the camera while dressed as Santa Claus, but he spent his nights hunting men and hiding their remains in large backyard planters. Each victim vanished into his garden of horrors.
What's wrong with it? Yo, you riding bikes with no seat on it? For Christmas? Oh, man. Nah, man, come on, bro. Then they send us an electric bike with no seat. So what the fuck is you doing with that electric bike with no seat? What's the electric bike finna do to you? Shock you? What the fuck, bro? Bro, you didn't put a motherfucking seat on that goddamn bike, boy, but you hurt your insides. Ain't gonna test it. God damn, like, I hope you ride the bike standing up. Who would give such a bike to a nigga like LeBron, 6'8", 295, with no seat? I'm just saying, what type of science experiment are you trying to witness today? Man, there's a basketball game up ahead. What the fuck, bro? At the end of the day, I just want to say that these niggas need to get this shit together, because I mean, what the fuck? A bike with no seat on it, you 6'8".
Yo, I know these TikToks are about dark, serious situations, but this one is just too funny, bro. We got Ladiddy James riding the bike with no seat, bro. I mean, who knows what it takes to become one of the biggest basketball players, you know? I don't really want to find out, but, you know.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
That worked great!
Yup, this will be your last dire warning for New Year's Eve, and not only will our lives be taken by midnight, but we need to beg God for forgiveness or burn forever. People are terrified after almost every major city around the world has announced full cancellation of New Year's Eve events, and what's about to happen cannot be stopped, with biblical verse Revelation 6:4 warning of when a rider on a red horse, symbolizing sacrifice and war, comes through, it will take peace from this earth, leading to the slaughter of mankind. With the FBI just arresting 4 men that had explosive materials set all over California to go off at exactly midnight. And many believe there might be hundreds to tens of thousands more people that are planning this exact thing just to go off in a few days around the world. Cities in France, Japan, Serbia, Australia, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Italy, and more have canceled activities entirely. And cities like New York, Berlin, and London have announced the same possibility or very heightened security. And what happens that night might turn into a global event. So do you think these cities are being too cautious or not enough?
Bill Clinton tells Donald Trump to bring it as Trump's attempt to use Bill Clinton as a distraction has backfired.
Now, if you missed it on Friday, the files that were released were incomplete, but a good portion of them included Bill Clinton. A lot of photos of Bill Clinton, as Donald Trump and his team attempted to use Bill Clinton as a smokescreen to distract from the fact that Trump's pictures were removed and a lot of his mentions were redacted. Well, that has backfired beautifully, as Bill Clinton is saying, you want to do this? Let's do this. And he is calling for the files to be released. He is saying, put everything out there. Every photo, every name, every image, whatever you have of everybody. Me, you. That's the law. That's what you need to do, because we should have nothing to hide. This is a great move. Now, look, I'm not saying anybody is guilty or anybody is innocent of anything, but I do know Donald Trump definitely tried to use Bill Clinton to cover for himself and the lack of his name appearing where we know it should have. And this is a great move by Bill Clinton. Where it goes, buckle up.
Extra Morbid Facts, Part 106. On Christmas Eve in 2008, 45-year-old Bruce Jeffrey Pardo arrived at his ex-wife's house in California wearing a Santa Claus suit and carrying multiple firearms. When the front door was opened by an 8-year-old girl, her in the face before opening at a crowded family Christmas party. Bruce then unleashed a homemade fuel dispensing device hidden inside a wrapped present, igniting a massive fire that trapped victims inside as the house burned. 9 people were killed, some by gunfire and others so badly that it took investigators several days to identify them. The fire burned so intensely that parts of Bruce's Santa suit melted onto his, forcing him to flee while still on fire. He later drove to his brother's house, where he turned the gun on himself. Investigators later determined the attack was driven by rage over a recent divorce, mounting financial pressure after losing his job, and a bitter custody dispute, with Bruce specifically targeting his ex-wife and her family. Police discovered that he'd spent months preparing, stockpiling weapons, booby-trapping vehicles with explosives, and compiling a list of additional targets, including his ex-wife's divorce attorney, making the attack one of the most disturbing holiday massacres in U.S. history.
I feel like it's just every day that I see something more disturbing than the last story. You know, I can understand what fueled his rage towards his family, but bro, the attorney, what did he do? He's just doing his job. You know, there's always a better route to go, bro. You don't need to eliminate yourself and your entire family. That's definitely not the route to go. These people are sick.
Nah, this type of story right here is wild as fuck. And this is why I don't trust people. This high school star right here, fresh off winning the Texas State Championship, was arrested hours after that game because allegedly he grabbed a pew-pew and pew-pewed his teammate in the neck. And if he's a star like they say, and this was a big-time football game, I know it was scouts there. So 1 minute, you on top of the world, you see the crowd cheering your name, y'all win a title, and then the next minute, it's all going downhill because you decided to teammate in the neck. So per reports, the person who got boomed in the neck is currently in stable condition. Some things you read and you just be like, bro, why? Because that wasn't his rival. That was his teammate, fool. They was in the same locker room. They did the same practices. They both had the same dream of one day possibly making it to the NFL, the ultimate stage. And for the foreseeable future, he could kiss that all goodbye. Just look at his face. He look like, damn, fool, I fucked up. I just gotta ask the question, like, what can resort to this man doing something like that, fool? Y'all just won a title together. Was it jealousy? What? This just goes to show you, talent doesn't always save you, and success doesn't always protect you. One wrong move, and it can turn your life upside down. For all the hotheads, don't let one night ruin your whole entire life.
What the hell? It's looking right at me. Oh my god. What is it? No.
Y'all don't find it more than a coincidence that when they finally decide to bring this evil, demonic, ill-possessing, just Santana, I don't even know what the hell, y'all decided to bring evil, literally pure evil to Louisiana, that in the same week, 10 murderers escape from jail, prison, and a plantation house gets burnt to the ground. A plantation house that has been there since 1850s, y'all. It ain't no way that this is just a coincidence. It's no way. I know this is going to sound crazy because a lot of people don't believe in the demonic, spiritual, two-realm world. They don't believe in that. But if this ain't clear proof, then I don't know what is. Y'all mean to tell me out of anybody that could have escaped anywhere in the world, 10 murderers escaped from prison in the same place that they brought this doll. In that same week, if not a few days later. A house that's been standing for over 1,000 years burns to the ground. And the firefighters have no idea what caused the fire. Come on now, y'all, don't be naive. This is real life, actually scary as hell, because I know, again, like I said, some people don't believe in this shit, but I definitely do. And I just feel like shit like this don't happen on a regular. Mind y'all, this is in Louisiana, the home of voodoo, the home of all the spiritualistic, realistic, ritual shit. Come on now. It's really gonna put the icing on the cake is, I don't know if y'all heard the story about the older black lady from down there that was trying to, like, you know, I guess cleanse Annabelle of her evil, and I don't even know, I feel crazy when speaking on it, because like I really believe in that shit. I guess she was like trying to cleanse her, do like a exorcise, I don't even know what to really call it, but in the Warrens documentary explaining and talking about Annabelle, they made it very clear.
What the fuck do you mean they just found a super spider? Yeah, so scientists just discovered a new spider that's one of the biggest and most venomous spiders to exist. The spider, who they are literally calling the big boy, is a type of funnel spider, except it has a rare mutation that causes it to be 3 times bigger than the average spider. And to make matters worse, the size of its leg alone is 5 inches. Yes, the legs alone make it absolutely massive, with a total span of 8 inches. Holy fucking shit. You even have people betting on Kalshi if it could take on a black widow in a fight and win. But it doesn't just stop there, because what the fuck do you mean it can also shoot out venom up to a foot if it's threatened? That same venom, by the way, can also move at 28 feet a second and can paralyze any insect almost instantly. Oh shit, and I forgot to mention, it also has a Hawkeye level of accuracy. Why the fuck is a super spider dropping in the big 2025 of all years? Just let this year go already, bro. The spider is also super strong compared to every other insect, being capable of pinning down insects that are 10 times of its size, which is absolutely fucking insane.
Oh my god, it's Ariana Grande! Ariana, over here! Ariana! Can I have your autograph?
Did you just touch me?
Yes? Can I have you?
You dare touch my Ariana, my precious Ariana. Your insolence will be your undoing. Foolish child, prepare yourself, for your time is at hand.
Wait! I didn't know!
Yeah, I definitely don't think we should go near Ariana Grande. She's got like some sort of creature protecting her, so you know. Y'all be safe out there if you ever meet Ariana Grande, because it might be over for you.
Did you ever see any really rich and powerful people go inside this building?
You want to know who I saw going in there? Everyone you've heard about.
What do you think actually happened inside of this home?
All the terrible things you could think of before we knew what was going on. Just young girls. I mean, young.
How old
Teenagers.
were the girls that you saw go in?
Well, because they were coming from schools. They were coming from public schools.
Really?
So they were high school age.
Wow, so you saw a bunch of high schoolers going inside here.
You could tell. I always come this way home. And you...
Guys, this whole case from start to where we're up to now, it's like the whole dangling a carrot on a piece of string thing. They literally give us dribs and drabs. Just look at the photos that have recently come out, they're suggestive, but in the grand scheme of things, who did he incriminate? And in the grand scheme of things, what does it push towards justice? I'll be honest, I don't think there's ever going to be any retribution for the things that happened at that island. Not in this life anyway.
Clavicular got all this fame and now he's gonna lose it all because he just ran over someone on stream and now he's banned on Kick. So when he was driving, a guy got on the hood of his car. And people are saying it's a stalker because he's tried to see Clavicular a lot of times. I can't show the clip, but Clavicular drives the car, the guy falls on the floor, and he runs over the guy. You can hear it in the clip, bro. It sounds disgusting. Aiden Ross was reacting to the situation and apparently the guy is not alive. As you can see, a lot of people arrived at the scene, and I'm not gonna lie, Clavicular might be cooked. But while Aiden Ross was reacting to it, he also saw the girl at the scene, and apparently the girl said that he was still alive, so I don't know. I mean, this whole situation is crazy, bro. He might go to jail for this. People are saying that he should, but Clavicular was saying that it was self-defense. Whether he is alive or not, I don't know what's gonna happen. He might go to court or whatever. He might even go to the jail if the guy is not alive. It's crazy, but Clavicular was getting all this fame, all this success, and now it might all be ruined because of this situation. I don't know, in the next few hours, we'll see what happens.
There is no way these are the same people. Watch these videos with me and tell me what you think.
That I was authentically 100% honest with all of you. I think it's safe to say that most of you know a lot of my life, whether I liked it or not. And I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside. And I kept it all together enough to where I would never let you down, but I kept it too much together to where I let myself down. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram.
You know, I will say when I'm with my sister or we're in the car, sometimes like Who Says is one of the songs but I was 16 and that's more of a nostalgic feeling. But no, I don't like listening to myself. Until like tell me like be free and sing this way and yeah, he's sweet.
If you've ever arrived somewhere way too fast, you need to hear this. People all over the world describe the same experience. They take a route they know by heart to work, home, school, a friend's house, but when they arrive, something feels wrong. The trip should have taken at least 10 minutes, but it only took 3. But they don't remember speeding, they don't remember missing turns, they don't remember the drive at all. Some check their clocks, others check their phones. The time difference is real. But what makes this disturbing isn't just the missing minutes, it's the awareness. People say they feel like they've skipped a part of reality. No memories, no sensation, just a clean jump from point A to point B. Psychologists call it highway hypnosis, but many people say that explanation doesn't fit. Because hypnosis implies drifting, this felt instant. And the most unsettling part, once it happens, you start noticing it more, like something figured out how to save time without asking you first. Stay weird.
Can the CIA make someone disappear without a trace? You bet they can, and they do all the time. In the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, the CIA created, for example, an archipelago of secret prisons, and they would just disappear people. We would capture people in Al-Qaeda safe houses, for example, let's say in Pakistan or Afghanistan, and we would ship them off to these secret prisons. And when I say secret prisons, I mean in many cases they were so secret that even the presidents and prime ministers of the countries where the prisons were based didn't know that there were secret CIA prisons in their countries. So the CIA can make people disappear in that respect. They can kill people and just bury them, in some crazy foreign land and nobody would ever know. But if you're a CIA officer, or better yet, let's say you're a KGB officer and you want to defect, the CIA will give you a completely new identity, more money than you can ever count, and you and your family can live happily ever after, under the name John Smith. And nobody would be the wife.
Yeah, that's not disturbing at all. That's not like scary in the slightest, that they could literally just make you disappear with no trace and nobody would ask any questions. This information is going to help me sleep so great tonight.
An entire city is covered in fiber optic cable, and the reason why is dark. This is the frontline city of Liman in Ukraine, and every single one of these cables represents a drone that is being flown into battle. You see, both Russia and Ukraine have been resorting to these thin, translucent cables because when there is a physical connection between the pilot and the drone, the signal cannot be jammed by the enemy. Fiber optic cables often come in spools of between 10 and 20 kilometers in length, and a Ukrainian spokesperson said that hundreds of Russian and Ukrainian drones fly over this city every day, and each one leaves its mark. Now, most of the time, the drones never come back. They either hit their targets or crash, and then the cable is simply left draped across the terrain, leaving us with a stark reminder just how much modern warfare has changed, and how drones specifically have become an irreplaceable part of that operation.
Authorities are urging residents to stay indoors tonight after another confirmed encounter with what's being called the Mimic. The creature is capable of imitating human voices to lure victims.
There's a real case where a man vanished while talking to his parents on the phone and no one ever found him. Like he literally just vanished off of Earth. In 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson drove off a back road in Minnesota late at night, but his car got stuck, but he wasn't hurt. That's when he decided to call his parent. They stayed on the phone with him for 47 minutes as he walked toward what he thought were town lights. They could hear him talking, joking, and walking. And during his walk, at one point, he said he was crossing a fence because he heard water nearby. Then, just out of nowhere, without warning, Brandon said 2 words, "Oh shit." And that's when the call went silent. Search teams traced the exact area he should have been in. They found his car, they followed his path, they searched rivers, fields, and ditches for years. Nothing. No phone, no body, no trace of Brandon, ever. Even the investigators admitted they didn't know what happened in those final seconds. Somehow a person can be alive, speaking, and moving, and then disappear mid-sentence, never to be seen again. What do you think though? Was it aliens? Was it a glitch in the Matrix? Was he kidnapped? What do you think happened? Stay weird.
The missing Mexican model that warned us about cannibalism. So you've probably seen that viral video of a Mexican model screaming, claiming that she's seen people eating people, right? Well guys, this is way darker than it is. Part 1. The incident. Back in 2009, a woman identified as Gabriela Rico Jimenez ran into a luxury hotel in Monterrey, Mexico, freaking out. She claimed that certain people were doing horrible things behind closed doors. Now, this line is what went viral. She claimed, "Se comieron a una persona," they ate a person, which absolutely horrified the internet. She looked terrified, like if she had seen something that she wasn't supposed to see. Part 2. The theories. The video was buried for years until it popped up again in 2024, and people freaked out because they claimed that she exposed elite cannibalism like secret cult parties and other secret societies. The creepy part is that no one could confirm what happened to her after that day. Some people believe that she vanished, others think she went into custody, and others think she just disappeared from the face of the earth, which is suspicious, right? Till this day, there's nothing about her. You can't find.
If you seeing this right now, make sure you double tap so everybody can see what's going on. Right now, California is dealing with a severe flood. What's crazy to me is, y'all remember that fog? They had a fog called radiation fog for a couple of days. And now all of a sudden, they're flooding. And it's so much rain that it's causing mudslides too. Y'all, this is not normal. Entire roads is underwater. They're calling this an atmospheric river, y'all. So basically, a river in the sky dumping extreme amounts of water in a short period of time, as you can see. That's why you see roads flooded. That's why you see cars stranded like this. Y'all, look at the river before. Look how much water this is. This shit is wild, fool. And I'm hearing they're supposed to get more rain. So if it's already like this is what, like 5-10 feet? Shit wild, bruh. I really need y'all thoughts down below in the comments on what do y'all think is going on in California. What caused all this rain? You had people that lived in these areas before and they looking like they never seen anything like this before either. So if you're one of the people that live in that area, I need to know from y'all. Have you seen this before? Is this new to you, or is this something you're accustomed to seeing already?
Is there a serial killer lurking in New York City? And why do I say that? Because recently, there's been over 6 bodies that have been found dumped in random locations all across New York City. And there has not been widespread news coverage on any of it. The latest body that was discovered and found deceased was found by a man in the Bronx in the Classen Point section. The body was floating in the water behind his property. Now keep this in the back of your mind. These bodies are all being found in the randomest of places. There was the decomposing body that was found in Coney Island. There were also body parts that were discovered in the Harlem area in Upper Manhattan. And there were also bodies found in Queens as well. And there hasn't been any updates tying any of them together by the NYPD. And that includes not even updating us on their identities as well. So the question should remain, why are they not telling us anything about what's going on? And if it does turn out that there is an alleged serial killer around New York City, why are they not alerting the public? And let me put this into perspective as well as to why some are believing that it is a serial killer. It's because the majority of the bodies that have been discovered and found are female. And that includes the one that was recently found in the Bronx in Classen Point. So once again, this has not been confirmed by anyone. But the bodies, if you go look up the stories, you'll find that they all were female. So it's kind of tying it all together and also putting it into a perspective. But we will wait and see until the authorities update us on any more details. if you're in the New York City area, just have your head on a swivel and be mindful of your surroundings. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay, yeah, this one is definitely weird because New York City has cameras everywhere. Every single block has dozens of cameras. There's no way that you can walk through New York City without a camera spotting you.
Now, I bet you want to know why Jay-Z and Beyonce's name keep popping up around the whole Diddy thing. Well, that's why I'm here. Now, first thing you gotta know is when somebody like Diddy gets taken down, things always start out as a rumor. Diddy has had rumors floating around for like decades. Well, Jay-Z had a problem. He right there in the corner, by the way. Jay-Z has had a few rumors himself, but more like speculation. People see Jay-Z in a picture of R. Kelly, they're like, I guess they both make music. Then Jay-Z with Harvey Weinstein. People are like, I guess they both do business. Then, of course, Jay-Z with Diddy. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. Jay-Z and Diddy go way back. Like back to the days when they were both coming up. So you could say they might just have a lot of respect for each other. But on the other hand, people are like, well, if you've known each other that long, Jay-Z, you must have known what Diddy was on. But Jay-Z has always had a history of keeping quiet, which brings us to Aaliyah. Now, I'm sure y'all remember R. Kelly dated Aaliyah when she literally needed her parents' permission slip to get married. Now, if I remember correctly, her parents got the permission slip and said, marry who? And that's how this whole thing got exposed. Now, a lot of people in the industry actually knew about this relationship because they would work with R. Kelly. They would be in the studio with R. Kelly. Now, according to Dame Dash, who, listened closely, was Jay-Z's first business partner and also dated Aaliyah when she was 21. He said this is how it went. He said he didn't want anything to do with R. Kelly because everyone knew what type of timing R. Kelly was on. He looks over at Jay-Z and Jay-Z's out here creating collab albums with R. Kelly. But then he saw why. For starters, everyone had a crush on Aaliyah. People were waiting down the clock until she turned 18. But Jay-Z decided to get a head start. Now, there's absolutely no proof that Jay-Z went after Aaliyah, but people were like, let me see another picture.
The Vault 7 was a WikiLeaks gave to a massive series of leaks released in March 2017, but detailing what every conspiracy person has ever talked about, but it's factual. It's how the CIA has no issue hacking into your phone, your computer, using your microphone, using your camera, and even your smart TVs. Then it also came out with new or modern vehicles. They can hack into your vehicle and control your vehicle. This journalist, Michael Hastings, was an award-winning investigative journalist. The CIA, the Pentagon, intelligence communities, and government contractors all despise Michael Hastings because he would do this insane investigative journalism and expose all the corruption that was happening. Hastings was working on a story involving CIA Director John Brennan. The key points of it was Brennan's role in drone strikes, extrajudicial killings, CIA spying on journalists, and quote, the Obama administration's war on whistleblowers. He was telling his friends and stuff, he's like, I feel like the FBI and the CIA, they're trying to get me. And at one point, he even asked his neighbor, he's like, can I borrow your car for a little while? Because I feel like they're going to do something to my vehicle. Within like a week after asking his neighbor that, he died of a car crash.
Oh my gosh.
So he was in a Mercedes. They said all of a sudden it accelerated to over 100 miles an hour and slammed straight into a palm tree. They said the car basically just disintegrated.
Gone. Just had an unfortunate driving accident.
Did you know that Marilyn Monroe's body was actually used after her death? On the morning of August 5th, 1962, Marilyn was found naked, face down, with a phone in her hand. When the doctor arrived, it was determined she died from a drug overdose. Although many reports differed, her body was quickly taken to the morgue. There, the staff dressed her in new clothes, put on her makeup, and made her look as if she were still alive. Then Marilyn's body was sent to a studio to be photographed. Why? Because she had a contract to fulfill with a magazine for a photo shoot, and they insisted she meet the deadline. Even though she was dead, they still decided to use her body for advertisements and photo shoots for a whole month. Her body was used for magazine covers and even appeared in films. It might sound like a ridiculous urban legend, but it's true. You can go on TikTok and search for Marilyn Monroe to find more details. Even after her death, her body was still making millions for others. What's even more heartbreaking is that Marilyn's biggest desire in life was to find peace. But even in death, she couldn't get it. She was forced to continue working after she died, appearing in photos as if her life never ended. It wasn't until a month later that she was hastily buried with no proper funeral. She was simply buried in the ground with no honors or respect. Marilyn Monroe's beauty was her gift, but that beauty turned her life into an endless nightmare.
Yeah, I'm honestly at a complete loss for words, because how did they even allow this to happen? Like, I understand, you know, business is business, but she was not alive, and they used her for a month to get whatever they needed done, and then they just threw her in the ground. And like usual, nobody gets held accountable.
Left my soul on this one. I know it sounds weird. Yeah. but you leave your soul for something like.
The video you just watched shows Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson almost admitting that he sold his soul. Doesn't it seem strange to you that in the late 90s, he was a nobody? In 1995, he failed in American football, got rejected by the NFL, and ended up with just $7 in his bank account.
I was so broke, I got $7 in my pocket.
He then tried WWE under the name Rocky Maivia, and once again, he failed. He had nothing going for him, no reason to succeed. And then in 1998, he changed his name to The Rock, and overnight, his career completely exploded. The entire WWE only wanted him. Hollywood signed him. He started getting record-breaking paychecks. It straight up looks like a miracle. Except the video I showed you at the beginning seems to confirm the rumors that have followed him for years. The Rock's career wouldn't be the result of luck, but of a pact. By the way, shout out to the last 2 people who subscribed, and we're pushing for 20,000 subscribers. Love y'all. So back to it. The story goes that when he changed his name to The Rock, he was offered a deal. 20 years of success, money, and muscle. No drama, no setbacks. And you know this, for 20 years, his body has looked almost superhuman, his endurance nearly unreal. But no one ever gives anything for free. Someone always comes to collect what's owed. And that's why, at the beginning of this year, everything started to change. He disappeared from public view for a while, and when he finally reappeared, his appearance was shocking. He looked exhausted, thinner. Everything that made him The Rock seemed gone. But wait, here's the most disturbing part. According to this alleged contract, once the 20 years are over, he has to give everything back. And it's almost been 20 years since his career exploded. Look at what he looks like today. You won't believe it. He has 3 years left. So the question is the video I showed you at the beginning proof of all this? Or is it just age and stress catching up to him? Or has he already started paying back what he was given?
Okay guys, last night, finally, some actual big revelations came from the latest dump of Epstein files. So here are the 4 main things that you need to know about, and get locked in, because this one's kind of wild. First key takeaway, holy shit, we actually got emails between FBI personnel mentioning 10 possible co-conspirators of Epstein. And that's actually a huge development, because up until now, the official narrative from the Department of Justice has always been there's no one else. There's Epstein, there's Maxwell. In fact, earlier just this year, Kash Patel testified under oath that there was no credible information that Epstein trafficked young women to anyone else other than himself. In fact, it got to the point where the majority of these 10 co-conspirators were served with subpoenas by the FBI. Frustratingly though, a lot of these names were actually redacted, which also raises a lot of questions, because we were told that all of these redactions were supposed to protect victims, not the alleged co-conspirators. Now, why the FBI stopped pursuing these people like they were doing in 2019 is unknown. Second key takeaway is that Trump is actually mentioned a lot in these files that dropped last night, unlike the first batch. Now, to be clear, there are a number of documents from these files which mention Trump that are either tips or just unproven allegations, but also pieces that are verifiably false, and we'll get into that in a second. But one of the most credible things so far is that in a 2020 email, a federal prosecutor spoke about receiving new flight records showing that Trump had traveled on Epstein's jet many more times than even they were previously aware of. Again, still no smoking gun, but jeez, is starting to get dicey now. Third is that there was a wild email in these files from someone who described themselves only as Invisible Man and just the letter A. And they were asking Ghislaine Maxwell if she had found any new inappropriate friends for them yet. And we know that this person has got to be pretty important, because they were at a summer camp at the time of sending this email for the royal family. Yeah. And then the fourth and last key takeaway is the pretty strange behavior of how the Department of Justice is actually releasing these files. Firstly, they broke the law by releasing these in multiple batches and not just all at once. Secondly, they heavily redacted a lot of questionable information. They've poorly redacted a lot of these pages, and people are literally getting around the redactions now by simply copying and then pasting the text into their notes and seeing what's underneath those bars. And then, most bizarrely, especially from last night, they're including files that are verifiably fake. For example, there was this letter that was purportedly sent by Epstein to Larry Nassar, and there's a whole thing going into there, as well as a fake video showing Epstein in his prison cell. Both of them, they say, are fake. And so that really starts to raise questions about why or how these were allowed to be included if even they are saying that they are fake. What do you guys think? Are we getting closer, or is it just, again, more fluff?
Oh my gosh, the government lying to us and not being upfront and truthful about scandals? Wow, bro, I would have never accepted expected this kind of thing from them. How dare they think we would ever fall like, bro, come on, let's be so for real. Obviously they're gonna lie to us. Obviously they're gonna hide the things that they don't want us to see. Like, there's some people on this earth that have no common sense. Like, it's so obvious.
Yo, did you see what just happened in Ohio at the Walmart, guys? So some guy got caught shoplifting at the Walmart, right? So they brought him to the back, right? So I guess the officer wasn't looking, and this guy tried to pull something out of his pocket and let it off, guys, but they got him. It jammed. It jammed. He's done. They hit him with an attempted M. It's over for him, guys. Listen, it jammed. Thankfully it did, because that officer wouldn't be here today to tell his story, guys. Dude went from a shoplifting charge to attempted M on a police officer. What is going on in this world, guys? Be careful. They didn't even know that he had that on him. Maybe they didn't check him. Guys, it's getting real out here. Be careful on who you approach. They should have searched him before they brought him in that room, but he's okay. The officer's okay. The other guy is finished. They caught him up, guys. Go look that up. It's not a game out here. Mind you, he was a suspect, so I don't even think they have proof yet. But he pulled it out on the officer and it jammed. Man, they roughed him up. He's going under. It's over. Guys, go look it up for yourself. Let me know if you've seen this. Go search it right now. This happened in Ohio, in at Walmart, in Caton, Ohio, or something like that. Let me know what you think. I'm out.
Y'all, this right here is crazy. And I don't think enough people talk about this. So I'm hearing your Wi-Fi is not just giving you internet no more. It's also tracking your movement. It's reading your body. And even in some cases, it's tracking your heartbeat and your breathing. We're not talking about a camera. We're not talking about your phone that's in your pocket. We're just talking about the Wi-Fi bouncing off your body. The signals. Think about that for a second. Every time you walk in a room, your body distorts a Wi-Fi signal. And these distortions can be analyzed. Are y'all keeping up? That means the system can tell if someone is present in that room, where they're standing, how they're breathing, everything. That should sound like something off a sci-fi movie. Researchers say that your body creates a Wi-Fi signature. A Wi-Fi signature. So essentially, it's like a fingerprint. So that means the signal pattern that's for you doesn't look the same from somebody else. So technically, the Wi-Fi doesn't need to see you. It just needs to feel you. Y'all don't hear how crazy this shit is? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments. Have you ever heard about this before? Or is this new to you? And as always, you already know, I drop shit every day. So if you want to stay updated on everything news, hit that follow.
You know, as flattered as I am that they care about what I'm doing every single day, you know, I just wanted my Wi-Fi so I could watch some scary TikToks and know the dark truth. Not so you can know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it. Your Diddy.
Thank you for coming. This is my first voiceover. Joy, I have never seen the film, so this will be my first time too. Hey girl, you're so cute. Hey y'all in the back. Sorry, I'm so shy and weird.
It's where people started raising eyebrows. All of a sudden she becomes tied to SpongeBob. Voice role, soundtrack, the whole thing. A kids franchise, but with very adult energy attached. Then comes the premiere. The outfit. Parents are confused. Not just parents, everyone. Why does this feel so off for something that is aimed at kids? And that's when the internet zoomed out. All clips resurfacing and signs that people think look like the horns, an inverted cross that some claim they have spotted. And around the same time, she's suddenly everywhere, spotted with a new best mate. Many are saying that her behaviour feels different lately. And that's when the whole Hollywood conversation starts again. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Let me know what I should cover next.
Having a grown woman in SpongeBob with her booty cheeks out is definitely not okay. You know, this decision was probably made in the likes of Diddy because this is just absolutely sick.
So everyone knows Rosa Parks, right? Yeah. Well, no one really talks about what happened to her when she was like 81 years old. What happened to her? So she was assaulted and mugged in her own house. What? Yeah. So on August 30th, 1994, she was in her house, right? And she would hear her back door just come down. It was this guy named Joseph Skipper. What? And he would tell her, I was chasing off an intruder. And he asked asked her for like a $3 tip. And she was like, okay. So she went upstairs and she went to get her wallet. And Joseph would follow her upstairs, right? And then he would demand more money. And then that's when Rosa Parks would tell him, no, I'm just going to give you what I agreed to.
Yeah.
And then he would hit her in the face and then shake her down for more money. She would fight back. She was 81 years old. She was still fighting back, right?
No way.
But he would hit her again and grab onto her and tell her, I won't hurt you even more if you don't give me all your money. So she gave in and she gave him all her money, which was like $103, really.
Bro.
All this for $100.
That's crazy.
So he would take the money and leave. Rosa Parks, she would go and call for her friend who lives across the street, and they would call police, and the police would get there like in an hour. This story would get huge media attention because, you know, it's Rosa Parks. And the guy, he would eventually get caught. He would have to be sent out of state because of, you know, he did this to Rosa Parks, bro. He's going to have everybody mad at him. So silver lining of this story is the Little Caesars founder, Mike Ilitch, who is also from Detroit where where this happened. So he wanted to give back to her. So he would move her up to like these luxury apartments and pay her rent every month.
Wow.
For the next like 10 years, all the way until she passed away.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I'm sorry, what? Speaker of the House Mike Johnson just said that Donald Trump doesn't think that what Epstein did to these girls is a hoax. He would never do that because Donald Trump was an FBI informant tasked with taking Jeffrey Epstein down. Watch this.
I'm saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harm. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
This information is going to rock the world, and people are going to demand more details after this statement. Yes, it could explain why the two had a close relationship, but first and foremost, is anyone even going to believe it? Or is this just another way to distract from getting the information that the public and the victims deserve? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore because this whole situation has not been honest at all. You know, I'm sure this has put us through enough emotional distress seeing Bill Clinton cozied up in the hot tub. And I'm sure there's much more that we have not seen yet that is even more disturbing than that. But, you know, I feel like everything they're feeding to us right now is just a part of their narrative.
She was exploring the abandoned set of Stranger Things, so she was exploring the Hawkins lab. And unfortunately, she passed away while exploring. So how did this happen? So this month, December, Leah Pomerito actually fell off of the Stranger Things building and because of a fall. For those that don't know, this is also an abandoned mental health institution in Georgia. Of course, it was also Hawkins' laboratory in Stranger Things. Right now, authorities believed Leia and a bunch of other friends were urban exploring and she fell off the building. People are suspicious. They were just like, you know, maybe one of her friends pushed her. We have no idea right now. It's still being investigated. As of right now, it's just being investigated as an accidental fall that unfortunately happened. For those who don't know too, the Duffer Brothers and the Stranger Things set apparently, from what I've heard around the internet, refused to film in the basement of the Hawkins laboratory because they thought it felt like it was haunted. And I mean, an abandoned mental health institution, I can definitely understand why it gives those vibes. Like, these places back in the day were just horrible places for those people. This is just a reminder, if you're urban exploring, maybe don't, or just be safer about it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments.
Did you know your brain can shut off pain before you're aware something hurt you? That's why some people don't feel injuries until minutes later. Your brain decides when you're allowed to feel it. There are documented cases of people with severe brain damage who still function normally. In some cases, over 90% of brain tissue was gone, and no one can explain how they were conscious. Also, you've never seen yourself in real time. Your reflection is always delayed, meaning the face you recognize as you is already in the past. Some people don't have an inner voice at all. No narration, no internal talking. They think entirely in images or concepts, and most people don't realize that until adulthood. And there are memories your brain permanently locks away, not because they're traumatic, but because accessing them would disrupt how you see yourself. Yeah, your brain does a lot more without asking you. Stay weird.
What's going on in California, guys? What is going on over there? I seen a video that I cannot even show you, right? With mud, like really high, covering cars and things like that, guys. What is going on in Wrightwood, California? Because whatever it is, it's not looking good, guys. There's always something going on in California, guys. I used to go there a lot until stuff started happening. Had to slow down, you know what I mean? But this happened on Christmas Eve, guys. I'm not sure how it is over there now. Go check it out for yourself. This is ridiculous. Hope everybody's okay. But this is not a good way to start the new year. I seen cars buried under mud and debris. Like, this is outrageous, guys. I heard of mudslides, but I hope everybody's okay. I hope that this gets cleaned up. I'm not sure how they're gonna do it, but I hope they clean this up because this is wild. Every time I turn around, there's something going on in California, guys. Shut up! I don't know what it is. That's why I'm asking you, what is going on over there? Because a lot's been going on through the years. All I'm doing is letting you know what people are talking about and what I've done seen. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I hope everybody's good over there because I ain't over there. I'm out.
The US economy may transition from using dollars to this new form of currency after an American state became the first to officially adopt it. For decades, the global financial system has lagged far behind the modern age. Many people in developed countries still rely on physical cash, while even our largest financial institutions have rejected digital advancements, causing bank settlement times to still take up to multiple days. These bottlenecks in infrastructure has limited what people can do with their time and money, but it stayed this way because for a long time there were no viable alternatives. However, a recent breakthrough created something called the Say network, which is a new transaction system built on the blockchain that for the first time ever allows for near instant settlement times of less than 400 milliseconds. This combined with its strong security and ability to link with real world assets makes it the first credible alternative in the financial world. As a result, the state of Wyoming has decided to launch an official stablecoin on Say's network.
I'm not gonna lie, if they get rid of the dollar and make us pay with cryptocurrency, this is going to be a mess. Like, imagine someone walking into the store trying to buy a pizza with Diddy coin. Like, nobody is accepting that.
No one realized that the wildest thing revealed in the Diddy documentary is what he does right after Biggie's death. We learn that Diddy wanted to give Biggie the greatest funeral possible, one New York had never seen before, and that's exactly what he did. The entire city showed up, except Kirk Barrows claims that Diddy turned the funeral into debts Biggie supposedly owed after seeing how much it would cost. Across all 4 episodes, Diddy repeats again and again that Biggie was one of his closest friends, maybe his best friend. So after gathering all of New York for Biggie, Diddy keeps presenting himself as a stand-up guy, but he never mentioned that the royalties Biggie generated after his death would actually be used to cover the funeral cost. And what comes next is even more dramatic. Biggie was supposed to be on the cover of the next issue of Rolling Stone, but Diddy called to have him pulled from the cover so he could take Biggie's place, just to promote his solo album No Way Out. But it doesn't stop there. Shortly before his death, Biggie was negotiating a new contract with Bad Boy, and he had succeeded. Except that after his death, Diddy allegedly asked his partner to alter certain terms, even though Biggie had already signed it, without anyone knowing. Kirk Burroughs said it wasn't right and he wouldn't do it. Strangely, 9 months later, he was fired. And meanwhile, Diddy was becoming the ultimate rock star, the one everyone loved without ever asking questions.
If you can get juice from a potato.
13 years ago, when this video came out, everyone laughed at it. But today, every Ariana Grande fan is absolutely outraged by certain clips that have recently resurfaced. All of these videos show moments filmed backstage or posted only online. Every one of those bits was shot solely for Nickelodeon. What you need to know is that at that time, the channel was run by Dan Schneider, and this guy is known for being the very embodiment of creepy. There are videos of him in hot tubs with some of his young actresses. He constantly slipped adult humor into children's shows, and he made some of his young actors do things that were extremely unhealthy and clearly unacceptable. I'm going to show you another clip at the end of this TikTok that Ariana Grande had to film, and it genuinely leaves me confused. How far did the disturbing behavior go that Ariana Grande was exposed to while working for Nickelodeon? If you weren't aware, some of her co-stars from the same network have recently broken their silence to say they were not only abused, but repeatedly. We have the proof in the clip I showed you at the start. Let's hope someone as well known as Ariana eventually speaks up to reveal what happened to her. Now get ready to see the other clip, and you're going to have to tell me if you find it creepy or not, because according to Dan Schneider, he insists that everything he ever filmed for Nickelodeon is completely family friendly.
I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me... Come on! Give up the juice!
these higher elites drink human blood to get high, and just how it can stimulate you and make you feel on top of the world. Drinking blood could give you a greater feeling. In particular, they want the human blood from in fear. And I will try to explain the science behind that briefly. Now, as a child, your blood is more pure, but if they can instill fear in you before they kill you, all that adrenaline that comes from the fear, it ends up in the blood that they take from you.
I'm 9 years old right now. We're babies. We have blood because this is how we do it. So like on Wednesday is the most special, busiest day, special day.
Okay. We'll take it little bit by little bit.
As I said, we babies, we drink the blood, but then after so the social services who are in it, they go to families, so the families can't afford, so they got a baby but they can't look after it, or anything, they can't buy food, or they can't buy clothes, they can't look after it. So the families who sell children, so the social services get them, they say they get the foster home, but they don't, they get the babies and the children. And then they get Miss Marden, our nurse in our school. They said babies who drink the blood. So then after so the social services who are in it, they go to families, so the families can't afford, so they got a baby but they can't look after it, or anything, they can't buy food, or they can't buy clothes, they can't look after it. So the families who children. So the social services get them. They say they get the child foster home, but they don't. They get the babies or the children, and then they get the baby so down. And with the string, they put a string, it's like a circle string, tie it to the legs, hang it upside down, and then they get a special they use for the babies.
Where is it this happens?
The church, the kitchen in our church.
Now, to my knowledge, this conspiracy is called the adrenochrome conspiracy, where it is believed or said that celebrities and top elites drink the blood from children after, installing fear in them. And this is said and believed that it gives some special perks. And to just make it simple, this is called a ritual where a lot of
This is the first time in human history that corporations are selling you a product that legally cannot be called ice cream anymore. This woman runs a business selling milkshakes, and just watch what happens to this ice cream that she accidentally left in the back of her trailer for 4 days.
I also offer milkshakes on my dirty soda trailer, and the premium ice cream that I usually buy was out of stock for this weekend. So this is Aldi's Sunday Shop brand. Accidentally left it in the back of my trailer from Friday night until late morning over the Labor Day weekend, late morning on Monday, and it did not melt. What kind of chemical, disgusting wizardry is this?
In the US, ice cream has to meet specific standards for milk fat and the ingredients in order to legally be labeled as ice cream. But as dairy and ingredient costs have risen, some brands have quietly reformulated. This is why you will now see labels like frozen dairy dessert on the outside of the container instead of ice cream. This is the case for many brands such as Eddie's or Dreyer's and Breyer's after they started swapping real ice cream for vegetable oils, fillers, and stabilizers. So these big food companies face a choice: either raise their prices or cheapen the ingredients, and many have chosen the latter. I actually looked it up on the Prove It app, and one of Eddie's flavors, the loaded chocolate chip cookie dough, ranks a 20 out of 100. It's very high in added sugar, saturated fat, and contains hydrogenated soybean oil, which is a source of trans fat, even though the label claims that it has 0 grams of trans fat. Skinny Cow ice cream sandwiches also ranked a 39 out of 100 for safety, nutrition, and processing, which goes to show that even though it may be lower in calories, there are a ton of ingredients in here that are linked to metabolic concerns. The best option that I was able to find is this Butter Bear ice cream for bears, which is sweetened with only raw honey, but it still only ranks a 64 out of 100. So next time you are in the grocery store looking for ice cream, definitely check the label before buying. Prove It is also adding more food, supplement, and beauty products to their database, so if you are ever unsure about a brand, you can actually scan it in store to see whether or not you want to buy it.
It's crazy how many people I know that will see this and they'll just be like, bro, you only live once. Like, people are just so okay with the fact that everything they eat is fake that they don't even care anymore, which is really disturbing. Like me, I'm not one of those people, so I'm definitely not going to be eating no artificial foo-foo ice cream. So, but, you know, if you guys want to indulge in that, you know, be my guest, but don't say we ain't warn you.
Ghana's Ibo Noah went from telling everyone that the world was gonna end on Christmas Day to driving a Mercedes and performing at concerts. Bro, it's not even New Year's yet. It's a pretty massive update. The day before the world was supposed to end, he posted a video on his TikTok announcing that God had given him another vision. Vision 2.0, if you will. And God apparently said to him that the 10 arcs that he had already built were not big enough for the amount of people flooding, coming all from all over the country to save themselves. And so because of that, Ibo Noah is saying that God is giving him more time to build more arcs to save more people for when the flood actually comes. Problem is though, there are some reports of people still turning up on that day, even from other countries, only for nothing to happen. Then, just a day later, he was seen in his rags getting out of a Mercedes and even performing at concerts. Bro had the freaking flood animations behind him. And guys, the crowd absolutely loved him. Bro is becoming as famous as the OG Noah.
Joan Rivers was, and I'm going to tell you that story. So I don't have permission to tell a story, but I'm going to tell you the story. I'm not going to say who it was, except she's somebody I mention on here all the time. Anyway, she doesn't work as a psychic, but she's really a very good psychic. Anyway, when Joan Rivers died, Joan Rivers went to her because she was open and told her she was murdered. Like that day, she said, Joan Rivers came and showed up and told her. And it was funny because we were having a conversation and she says, no, Joan Rivers told the truth. And you can say, Joan Rivers had a big mouth. So you like the lies? You like the lies that are out there. I don't like lies. So Joan Rivers told my friend she was murdered. She said within an hour of Joan Rivers, right, dying, that my friend heard her say, I was murdered. You've got to stop saying I look like Joan Rivers. If you met Joan Rivers, you can see the plastic surgery. I have never touched my face. I have no Botox. Nothing is in my face. I did do like powder brows and I pierced my nose. That's it. I do not touch my face. When you compliment somebody and you say they look like a person who looks like Michael Jackson and kind of deformed, right? Because they have too much plastic surgery, then you're insulting them. So it's a backhanded compliment. Insult. So you can love Joan Rivers, but if you look at her daughter, you can clearly see who looks like her, and it's not me. But thank you so much. Anyway, getting back to the story. My friend said the day that Joan Rivers died, and I remember this conversation, we just brought it up again. Anyway, so my friend, whose name begins with an L, and so does her birthday. Anyway, I talk about her. She said Joan Rivers came to her and started screaming that she was murdered, right? That she was murdered. And so she said it just caught her off guard, right? Caught her off guard so bad that she didn't know what to do. And so the next dead guy, she told me he was some musician and I can't remember who it was. It was somebody's who worked in a band and I can't remember which band. And she told him, she just talked this story this morning. She goes, yeah, he came right to me and said I needed to talk to him. And I told him that if he didn't mind, I didn't have the energy to talk to him. And I was like, that's hilarious. Like she shut it off. We were talking about that earlier. So I was like laughing.
Epstein has deep ties into the deep state. He has ties into the Mossad. He has tied into our current government because people don't know that his island was actually called Blackmail Island amongst other people in literally. They were like, oh, you go on a Blackmail Island? And they knew. So certain people who, you know, was none the wiser will go there, right? Did what they did, had fun. Epstein was like, yeah, we had fun last night, right? It was cool. Hey, come in here. Watch this tape. Yeah, that's you doing X, Y, and Z. Now I own you. Why do you think that he had a picture of Bill Clinton in that blue dress? That's like a trophy on the wall. Like, hey, I got you. And Bill was the #1 client because if you look at all those pictures in the files, Bill's in damn near every one of them.
Yeah.
Let me show you around the island. Yeah, like that's Bill. He's like the host.
So what is going to happen to Bill? And what are they saying to Bill at this point?
I think he's low-hanging fruit. We knew this for a long time that he was involved. But now just seeing it is just like, there he is. There he is again. There he is again. Right? So he's low-hanging fruit. I think he's cooked. And the fact that there's rumblings of Hillary Clinton trying to separate herself from Bill.
Damn.
They're saying that there's, some divorce talk in this whole situation. I'm not surprised.
Finally, man. Like, Hillary has been standing strong with this motherfucker.
Apparently, Hillary was, allegedly one of these people that was over there, too. Apparently, she's not innocent.
Did you see the picture that Hillary, that they released in the files? Did you see the picture? You guys didn't see this picture. Okay. So there's a picture of Hillary Clinton in the files.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that movie Eyes Wide Shut?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it looks like a scene right out of that, because if you look at the picture that they released, she's dressed in ritual garb. Okay. I don't know what they're about to do or what that picture's about, but you don't need too much context, right? Because there's a lot of stories about her. We talked about it last time of what she's into. And just seeing that there's a picture of her in some type of ritualistic, garb that I don't know what's that about, but I don't know what that's about. Like, it's kind of obvious at this point. So, and it's kind of weird too that Kash Patel, the head of FBI, not too long ago, he went on TV and said, yeah, I'm tired of the witchcraft that goes on in DC. He said this on TV.
The witchcraft?
He said the witchcraft that goes on in DC. So it's not like some tongue-in-cheek thing. I've never heard that term before. He's definitely the Black Epstein, for sure.
That's who he is.
Think about this. You have two billionaires running around in New York in the same circles and they don't know each other. There's no way. Because Diddy knew Bill and Hillary. Okay, remember that whole vote or die thing that he was pushing?
I remember that.
And then who did like millions of dollars go to what campaign? From Epstein, the Democratic Party. Okay? So he was heavily tied. Okay? They were both heavily tied to politics, musicians, and all these powerful people. So there's no way they didn't know each other. For sure they did. They knew how to blackmail people. They knew how to get over on people.
Where did Diddy learn his skills from?
Clive Davis. Clive Davis. For sure. Like when he started out, he was under Clive Davis, and then he was under Clive Davis. Okay?
I thought he was with Andre Harrell.
He was too, but if you really look at the power players, really look at it. I mean, Andre Harrell's out of here too. But if you really look at, Clive Davis and, his whole track record and all this other stuff, really pay attention to who he's hanging around and getting this money from, because that's who gave him his first deal. Mm-hmm. To break off and do his thing.
Clyde.
Yes.
So when Harrell fired him, Clyde gave him the money to move forward?
Yeah, for Bad Boy. So,
do you think that he killed Biggie?
Who, did he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird that he tells Biggie to stay in LA when Biggie was like, I want to get out of here. And then he says, you know what? That UK trip that you're about to go on? Yeah, cancel that. Whole promo tour, that first time that Big was ever going to go to Europe, he cancels it. You're going to stay in LA behind enemy lines after Tupac dies. Yeah, that's pretty smart. Just saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay? Then, when he gets word that Big was going to be on the cover of Rolling Stones, he says, nah, ixnay that. I want to be on the cover of Rolling Stones.
Yo, I will never forget that one comment where bro said the reason Diddy and Epstein do not hang out is because you don't hang out with your competition. If Diddy is your competition, you're sick. But if Epstein is your competition, you're even sicker.
Come on. I'll try. You got a good deal on yours. Yeah.
But tell Panasonic I'll do a Christmas.
Here, let me get a show you. Get in there. Get in there.
Merry Christmas, Panasonic.
Okay, wait. Do they
Do Panasonic a Merry Christmas time.
Okay. Yeah, tell Merry Christmas. Give him a free camera. Okay, here, get a shot of me. Actually, you should get more than a free camera. That's. And we're recording an action. I got the water balloon.
You gotta shut the door to the top.
So wait, who we think?
Panasonic.
Panasonic?
Yep.
It's a good camera, isn't it?
Okay. Yep. I would just want to say, Panasonic, I think you're wonderful, and I am your biggest fan. Merry Christmas, and God bless you.
Stoller. And this is a great camera, the 24p, what is it, the DVX 100.
Yeah, we like it a lot.
Great camera. Great
Thank
camera.
you.
It's hard to pronounce though. It could be the DVX 100 or the GVX 100p, but I'm not sure. But who cares? It looks good, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah. Okay. Do rehearsal. Are you Agent MJ? Say Agent MJ reporting.
Agent MJ reporting. Agent MJ reporting.
For Miss Castaway.
For Miss Castaway.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
This is only a test. Only a test. Only a test.
Agent MJ reporting.
And that's a wrap.
Oh, excuse me.
The people in Hollywood believe that Sabrina Carpenter is this deity.
Whoa!
She's a pop star, ex-Disney childhood star. Her aunt is Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson. She's super famous for being a Scientologist. But the more and more I look into it, the stranger and stranger it gets. I find a photo of her wearing a shirt, and the shirt says, "Awake, arise, or be forever fallen." This phrase is the first quote that Lucifer says in Paradise Lost. Her first ever album is titled Eyes Wide Open. Okay, that's obviously reverential to Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes.
It's like a super direct parallel. Now, Feather, at the beginning of the video, has the title, and the font is the same exact font from Rosemary's Baby. Well, at the very end of Eyes Wide Shut, the daughter of Tom Cruise's character, she walks over to this bassinet, and she looks at it, and she says,
I could put Sabrina in here.
Mind you, the bassinet is the movie poster for Rosemary's Baby.
Wow.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Eric, open your mic.
I mean, anybody that's really pushing the spotlight got something going on. I don't care who you are. If they're pushing you, you're on something weird. Because, you know, they only leverage the people that listen to them. If you know, you know.
So monumental, Beyonce. So monumental.
There's a crazy conspiracy theory right now claiming that artists are forced to thank Beyonce during award speeches out of fear.
I also have to say thank you to Beyonce, just so that way we keep the dance community safe. Everybody, Beyonce, you got great music. We all love to dance to it.
And people are really getting convinced that Beyonce and Jay-Z have controlling power over the music industry the same way Diddy had.
I'm a country artist, and the fact that Beyonce made a country record changed the game. So thank you.
And thank you, Beyonce. You're amazing. Yeah.
Because they said, how come Adele still has to thank her in her speech when it was her own moment winning Album of the Year?
I can't possibly accept this award. My artist of my life is Beyonce, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyonce, it was so monumental.
Is Adele actually afraid of what Beyonce would do to her because Adele won and Beyonce lost?
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce.
Adele and Lizzo were terrified when called. And yes, they're saying the same thing about Lizzo, who also dedicated a chunk of her speech just adoring her.
Beyonce, whoo, you
You changed my life. You sang that gospel medley and the way you made me feel. I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music. So thank you so much.
Megan Thee Stallion.
I love her work ethic. I love the way she is. I love the way she carries herself. And my mama will always be like, Megan, what would Beyonce do?
And even Britney Spears, who won the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award, but still dedicated her speech to Beyonce.
Beyonce and I started out around the same time, and just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. The first time I saw her, from her singing to dancing to acting, she can do it all. She's a triple threat.
Britney won the most important award of the night, and she didn't even say a speech. She immediately talked about Beyonce. She was frightened. So, what is the truth? Is Beyonce really hiding something? In a while, I shall give you my unpopular opinion. Because look, this conspiracy theory also gave birth to even more wild assumptions, like how Kanye supposedly saved Taylor Swift when he interrupted her during the VMAs to praise Beyonce. How people think J. Cole's song She Knows is also a hint because it sounds like her surname Knowles. And finally, even an insane theory that Beyonce was responsible for Aaliyah's passing.
She was our age, and it's just scary because that could have been any one of us, and she was an angel, and I know that now she's with God.
Britney Spears and Taylor Swift were definitely Beyonce's biggest threats. I'm convinced she caused Britney's downfall, and I'm now worried for Taylor. So, to finally answer, what is the truth? Well, as much as I enjoy opening my mind to alternative possibilities, because indeed Hollywood has a lot of dark secrets, it's an insult for this conspiracy theory to even exist. Let me remind you, these are all very talented female artists in their own right. Yet somehow these TikTok detectives would rather believe that these artists thank Beyonce because she is forcing them to, and not because she just genuinely had a strong, empowering influence on them as a world-class performer and a role model for what it means to be an excellent woman. If Beyonce was truly a mastermind behind everything, she would have given herself the Album of the Year Grammy by now. Notice how no one says if MJ was still here, Usher wouldn't have a career. It's always the women getting compared. So, night fam, may we remember to please check our double standards and not fall into the habit of pitting amazing women against one another.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyonce on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here.
This is the saddest Christmas story you'll ever hear. She sat on her couch while her children opened their Christmas presents, but she was no longer alive. And just wait till you hear what her husband told the kids. This is 39-year-old William Wallace and his wife at the time, 26-year-old Zazelle Preston, and authorities said that Preston suffered repeat abuse from Wallace throughout the course of their marriage. So much so that he previously served jail time for beating her, and it affected Preston so much that she was taking college classes in hopes of becoming a domestic violence counselor so that she could help other people in a similar situation as her. But that all changed the night before Christmas when Preston and Wallace got into a heated argument, and Wallace ended up Preston so bad that he took her life. And the next morning he didn't know what to do because their kids were sitting downstairs in front of the Christmas tree waiting for them to come down so they could open their presents. So Wallace took his wife's from the bedroom to the living room couch, placed sunglasses on her, and told the children, "Mommy ruined Christmas. She got drunk and ruined Christmas." He then had them open their presents in front of their mother, who was no longer alive. Wallace was later sentenced to 15 years to life in prison, but rest in peace to his poor wife. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, honestly, nothing could have prepared me for what just entered my eardrums. Like, why even get married if you're going to hurt the person that you quote-unquote love? I don't know, bro. We need to bring back medieval times punishments because clearly jail is not enough.
Tea Time has officially been arrested after fatally hitting a man while live streaming and driving.
I don't know, it was weird, like, so... Fuck!
So the TikToker in that video goes by Tea Time, and on November 3rd, she was having a live stream answering questions from her followers while she was driving, and her kids were in the back seat. You then hear a loud thump. She says, "I just hit somebody," and then immediately ends the live. The victim was revealed to be 59-year-old Darren Lucas, who just finished his shift at a nearby grocery store and was on his walk back home when he was hit. Lucas was severely injured and rushed to the hospital, where he was later pronounced deceased. And after so many people saw that live and reported her to police in the area, she was finally arrested on Tuesday, December 23rd. Authorities issued a warrant for her for the charges of reckless homicide and aggravated use of an electronic communications device on Tuesday, but before they could get there, they saw her trying to leave her home with several packed bags. Thankfully, she was caught in time and brought in, and when they asked her why she did this, she was claiming that the light was green. But when authorities saw the video, they saw that the light was red long before, and the car was traveling at 35 miles per hour, didn't attempt to slow down or even change course. I mean, it was clear that she wasn't even looking up. She is currently booked on those 2 felonies, but rest in peace to Darren Lucas. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
I mean, obviously, if you're, on TikTok Live and you run somebody over, you're gonna probably get arrested, so,
The person filming this woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of a little girl laughing from his living room. Half asleep and confused, he grabbed his phone and went to investigate. That's when he noticed it. Behind his Christmas tree, small bare feet were visible, standing completely still. He froze and then slowly stepped closer, filming the entire time. When he looked behind the tree, the feet and the child were completely gone.
Let me just say, this one is important, or it seems important. So doctors are warning about a mutating flu strain, and they say this flu strain is spreading faster in 2025 than it has ever spread in any other year. Health experts are saying that the influenza mutation is behaving way differently than past years. But don't they always say this? I really can't recall a year where they didn't say there's been a mutation or this one is worse than last year. Am I tripping? They said the US and Europe is already having high surges in patients coming in with the flu, y'all. They said this time around, it's a little earlier though. And I don't know where they heard this from, but they said usually if you get the flu around flu season, you only get it one time. But now they're saying people are getting sick twice, and the second time is worse than the first. That don't sound normal to me. Sound normal to you? Now they did say that this variant hasn't been more deadly than others, but it's spread way quicker. It's way more potent. So I'm just reporting on the news that they're reporting to us. So if you feel sick or anything, or you've been under the weather the past week or so, you probably had this flu or whatever this is.
Yeah, he is definitely not lying. This cooked me the past couple of days. I literally looked like SpongeBob when he had the suds.
Think about this, people. Santa Claus is the first intelligent asset you were ever introduced to as a child. Before you understand what the government is, before you know what data collection is, before you know what taxes are, there's already a guy who knows when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake, knows if you've been bad or good, and is keeping a year-long behavioral file on you. Nobody ever really asked, hey, how exactly is he monitoring millions of children simultaneously? We just accept that surveillance is normal as long as it comes with presents. Think about it. Good kids get gifts, bad kids get coal. That's not magic, that's compliance training. Santa has a global operation, a fleet of airborne vehicles that violate every known aviation law, instant border access, and zero oversight. He enters private homes without permission, bypasses security systems completely, and leaves zero physical evidence behind. That seems like government training to me. You know, eventually someone tells you Santa isn't real and you laugh it off, but by then the lesson is already baked in. You've already learned that being watched is normal, and that good behavior is rewarded by invisible authorities, and that questioning the system ruins the magic for everyone else. Anyways, don't forget to leave those cookies out. You don't want to look suspicious this late in the year.
Do not watch this if you're a kid. Do not watch this if you don't want me to ruin your Christmas spirit. I've warned you, not my fault. What I'm about to tell you is pretty messed up, but still a very popular conspiracy theory, legend, whatever you want to call it. This video is for entertainment purposes only, please and thank you. Is Santa actually Satan? Yes, you heard it right, that's the theory. The image of Santa, that is. It is believed that this image, this character, was created to take everyone's attention away from the real meaning of Christmas, which is the birth of Jesus Christ. But who would want to do that? The words Santa and Satan both have the same letters. All you gotta do is mix them up a little, and they're the same damn thing. What color does the devil love? Now, what color does Santa love? Now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Christmas? Especially kids. Ta-da! Santa Claus, gifts. Not this, the birth of Jesus Christ, at least for most people. So, mission accomplished, Mr. S. Also, what's up with the whole, he sees you when you sleep, he knows when you're awake? I mean, seriously, how creepy is that? If you really think about it, you know, what does the devil like so very much? Well, lots of things, but one of them being greed. And what is Christmas all about these days? Getting stuff. As many gifts as possible. This man is supposed to come into your house in the middle of the night when everybody's asleep, which is usually around 1 or 3 a.m. Creepy times, don't you think? I don't know, y'all. This is just a theory, obviously. Do I believe it? No. Nobody's gonna ruin Christmas for me. I just like how everything has a spooky side to it.
Korea's right there. Look, no lights at all. And then you turn around, look at this. The difference is insane. And the craziest part, nobody crosses that bridge. There's no escape. Imagine being born there.
If you're able to watch this video right now, then you're definitely not from this place. So let's all be grateful that we're not. And the reason why it's so dark is if you don't live in the capital city, the electricity is rationed, and anywhere else other than the capital, at night time it's a complete blackout. I'm sure you all know if you're from there that you can't leave. But what not everyone knows is travel isn't just restricted to leaving the country. You need permits to travel around that country. So there's people there who've literally never seen a beach, never seen a mountain, never seen the seaside. That's horrible. And it does make you think, could we end up like that one day? Because it seems to me every single year, the elites just squeeze us and squeeze us and squeeze us. Eventually, is this going to be our future? Or are we actually closer now to there than we think?
Early in her career, Taylor Swift sold the image of the innocent country girl. Blonde hair, acoustic guitar, church-friendly lyrics. This created trust with mainstream and parents. The perfect Trojan horse to bring a huge audience into her world before pivoting. Starting around Reputation, 2017, she flooded her visuals with snakes, dark robes, ritualistic choreography, inverted color schemes. Look What You Made Me Do is filled with serpents and burial, resurrection imagery, classic occult symbolism. The Eras Tour stage acts include cloaked figures, flames, and mock ritual movements. Recent videos like The Fate of Ophelia lean into myth, drowned maidens, and mysticism. This looks like an initiation narrative, moving from the innocent maiden into the priestess witch. In order to maintain superstardom, an artist must hand over their image to the industry. Snakes, for example, mean knowledge, temptation, rebirth. In occult imagery, they're also linked to power through hidden knowledge. The repeated use of snakes and gothic visuals can be interpreted as a soft disclosure of her allegiance to darker forces. By shifting from America's sweetheart to dark high priestess imagery, she becomes a powerful symbol for how the entertainment industry grooms audiences. It starts with fairy tale country songs. As they age with her, they're fed more occult, sexualized, or ritualistic imagery. This normalizes and glamorizes those aesthetics to millions simultaneously. From this perspective, Taylor Swift is not just a singer, but a brand vehicle for ideological programming, moving an entire generation from wholesome to occult chic under the guise of artistic evolution. But that's only a non-factual conspiracy angle. What are your thoughts on Taylor Swift evolution?
Extra Morbid Facts, Part 104. On December 11, 2002, 22-year-old Alan Menzies his best friend, 21-year-old Thomas McKendrick, inside his home in West Lothian, Scotland. Menzies had become obsessed with the film Queen of the Damned, watching it more than 100 times, and later told police he believed the character Queen Akasha was visiting him and instructing him to kill for immortality. When McKendrick came over that morning, Menzies attacked him with knives and a hammer, claiming the violence was triggered after McKendrick insulted Akasha. After killing him, Menzies drank McKendrick's blood and ate part of his head, stating this was the necessary process to become a vampire. He then placed the body of his best friend in a wheelbarrow and buried it in a shallow grave, where it remained undiscovered for the next 6 weeks. In court, prosecutors revealed Menzies had a long history of serious violence starting at age 14, including multiple stabbings. He literally told the court, "If you don't somebody, you can't become a vampire. Menzies received a life sentence with at least 18 years before parole eligibility, but in 2004, less than 2 years after the murder, he was found in his prison cell.
Yeah, we've officially lost the plot. What? Bro, what? Some people are just like way too far gone. Like, this sounds like it's out of a movie.
He hallucinated about Kermit the Frog as he walked off of the mountain in front of his own father. This is 14-year-old Zane Watch. On June the 10th, Zane and his father Ryan were participating in a hike or mountain climb on the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Ryan figured that this could be like an introduction to mountaineering for his son Zane. He even describes his son as saying that he's in better shape than he is, and that him and his son have tons of hiking experience. He's a very active teen. He's competed in distance running and swimming and triathlons. So he felt like that this was right on track for him to get into mountaineering. Now, everything seemed to be going fine at first. However, as the duo went on their journey further up the mountain, he said that Zane slowly started exhibiting symptoms of altitude sickness. At this point, they had already finished the toughest parts of the hike, so he decided to take an easier trail to ensure the safer 7-mile descent back to their car. This is where things got even worse, though. This is where Zane started hallucinating and saying that he was seeing things like snowmen and Kermit the Frog. Now, Ryan tried to keep even a more watchful eye on Zane as they descended. He even thought that he was considerably better at some point, but then about an hour later, Zane started acting strangely again, doubting his reality. Now, his dad, Ryan, thinks that it was a combination of exhaustion, sleep deprivation, and maybe some dehydration. As things were getting worse, Zane kept stopping his father on the way down, saying that they had finished this trail many times over by now, and why were they still going? Zane would tell his father that he wasn't sure if he was in reality or not. He would shake his head in disbelief and tell his father that he thought maybe he was dreaming like in the movie Inception. Because of this, a separate group of hikers nearby decided to call for a search and rescue team to go ahead and get him the rest of the way down. While they were waiting, things went from bad to worse. Zane tried to walk off the cliff 3 times. His feet were dragging. He looked like he was sleepwalking. He kept making erratic movements towards the ledge, but his dad was able to grab him before he...
They just recalled over 83,000 bags of frozen shrimp, y'all. Because once again, it's radioactive. Y'all, this is wild, fool. Y'all remember the last time it was around, I believe, Thanksgiving? And now, this time it's around Christmas? What am I missing? How does this keep happening? Anybody got an answer? And another thing, this time it's not just one brand, y'all. They said over 32 different brands of shrimp, and they were imported from Indonesia. Shrimp do not just become magically radioactive. So the place they got it from in Indonesia had to have that shit in like contaminated water or some shit. Dirty ass environments. So if you got shrimp right now in your freezer, and you got it a week or 2 ago, I would throw that shit out right now. Go to your freezer. Don't even play, fool. You're not trying to get sick right now. It's the holidays, New Year's Eve coming up. You want to go party. You don't want to be stuck in the house.
These kids are suing Monster Energy because they found rods of plastic floating in every single can in a 12-pack that they bought. Absolutely shocking. Look at this.
Oh yeah, no, you can see it right there. Holy, there's so much plastic.
Rods and rods of plastic. Every single can.
Dude.
Zoom.
All right, so second period is for...
Jaguar Wright told us that J-Lo is going to be investigated with Diddy. Jaguar Wright said that Diddy and J-Lo are both going to be investigated for the 1999 nightclub shooting where the victim said that Diddy pow-powed her in the face. Jaguar Wright said that there was a Law & Order SUV episode that was made depicting the truth about what really happened that night at the nightclub and who was all involved, and how a rapper was made to take the fall even though it really wasn't him, and how they tried to get this woman away from having to testify. And she said that this episode depicted the truth about what really happened that night, and then Law & Order SUV took this episode down and then scrubbed it. So I went ahead and did a little bit of digging, and I did find out that there was a Law & Order episode called 3 Dog Night, Season 12, Episode 9, that was inspired by Diddy's involvement in the shooting-related investigation. So me being curious and wanting to watch this episode, I went ahead and did a little bit of research, and it said that I could watch the 3 Dogs Night episode on Peacock. So I went to Season 12, Episode 9, as you can see right here, and it says this is the episode called Gray. This Dame Dash said that Jay-Z can't stay silent about Diddy. Dame Dash was just asked about Jaguar Wright's claims on national TV about Jay-Z and Diddy, and he said that Jay-Z isn't going to be able to be silent about these accusations because he's had connections with Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and even Epstein. Dame Dash said that he knows from his own personal experiences from being around Jay-Z years ago that Jay-Z has had connections with these type of people for years. Dame Dash said that him and Jay-Z's relationship ended after Jay-Z chose to continue to work with R. Kelly after he knew what he did to Aaliyah. And he explained how after all of this is when Jay-Z would do the shady stuff that he did to him with Rockefeller.
What are your thoughts on Jaguar Wright being mentioned all over national news?
Well, things that she's saying, you know, the thing about
it has now been confirmed by government officials that Santa Claus has officially crossed into the United States. According to NORAD, Santa Claus has officially entered the United States airspace, crossing into Florida, coming from the Bahamas. The president even said that children should be setting out milk and cookies because Santa will be very disappointed if he shows up and they are not there. And at the last update, he was headed for Fort Lauderdale, Florida in about 5 seconds. So Santa Claus is making his way up the East Coast. And at this very moment, he has delivered 5.7 billion presents already to all the children around the world. We even saw this picture of Santa Claus taking a selfie while he was being guided by military airplanes into United States airspace so that way he could come and deliver presents here to the children in the United States. And this is an image that somebody got already of Santa Claus tonight. So if you are anywhere in America, please go to bed now so that way Santa Claus can come and deliver your presents.
Nicki Minaj is currently the most unfollowed person all across social media, and her fans are completely turning against her. So recently, Nicki Minaj has been saying and doing some very controversial things, and it's causing many of her fans to just completely unfollow her on every social media platform and no longer want to support her. Based on many reports I've seen, she's losing thousands of followers every single second, and in the past 2 days, she has lost over 10 million followers across every social media platform. To lose that many followers in just a short amount of time is truly unheard of, and it honestly sounds like it has to be some sort of world record or something like that. People are even going as far as to say that Nicki Minaj's career is completely over, and many fans are saying that they will never support Nicki Minaj ever again. So this is definitely a very wild situation, that is for sure. I'm really curious to know how Nicki Minaj is feeling right now. Maybe she really just doesn't even care, but I'm definitely really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
Morbid Facts, Part 850. On November 13th, 1982, Duck Koo Kim fought Ray Mancini for the WBA lightweight title in Las Vegas. In the 14th round, Kim was knocked down hard and the fight was stopped. Minutes later, he collapsed from a massive brain hemorrhage, fell into a coma, and died 4 days later at age 27. Then just a couple months later, in early 1983, Kim's mother died by suicide after traveling to the US and struggling with her son's death. Just a few months after that, referee Richard Green also took his own life after reportedly falling into severe depression, overwhelmed by guilt and public blame for not stopping the fight sooner. The bout became one of the darkest moments in boxing history and directly led to major safety reforms and the elimination of 15-round title fights. In 1977, unemployed Indiana man Tony Karitzis kidnapped mortgage banker Richard Hall after blaming him for the foreclosure of his home. Tony strapped a sawed-off shotgun to Richard's neck, rigged with a dead man trigger so any sudden movement could fire it, and held him hostage inside the Meridian Mortgage Company for nearly 3 days. During the standoff, Richard was forced to walk outside in public and even stand through a live press conference with the gun still pressed against his neck. With negotiations failing and Richard's life constantly at risk, police ended the siege by shooting Tony through a window, killing him instantly as Richard survived unharmed.
They say Cantinflas had mermaids hidden in his home, but how true is this? This is one of the scariest urban legends that there is, so let's talk about it a little more. According to legend, when he was building his gorgeous mansion in Acapulco, he wasn't just chasing his dream, he was chasing sirens. There are claims that he believed that mermaids could bring him eternal inspiration and love. At night, neighbors whispered about strange singing and echoing coming from the ocean. They claimed that this happened around 2 in the morning and that the voices did not sound human. The story goes that Cantinflas brought mermaids into his home, hiding them in chambers and his pool. That's why it was connected to the ocean. Visitors spoke about strange footprints in the hallways that didn't seem human and were watery. And some swear that they saw pale figures with weird bodies diving into the ocean before sunrise. However, no proof was ever found and his family and everyone denies it. So the real question is, did Cantinflas have mermaids in his home or was it just a myth? What do you guys think about this story?
Okay, but like, where would you keep a mermaid? Do you have like an oversized aquarium tank just chilling in your house, or do you have them like chilling in your bathtub or something? Like, imagine your homie invites you over, you know, you go to use the bathroom, whatever, and then you just look inside of the tub. There's just a mermaid and they're just singing to you. Like, okay, bro, interesting hobby.
What's the worst thing you ever did in the CIA?
We created a germ in a lab and blew it into the atmosphere in San Francisco just to see if anybody would get sick. And lots of people got sick. 11 of them were sick enough to need hospitalization. And it turned out that they all suffer from the same rare respiratory infection. And the doctors are like, where the heck did this come from? Well, the CIA had it in a big tube and they were shit into the fog. And they did it in San Francisco because the fog is heavy and they knew that the fog would keep the germ close to the ground where people are breathing it in. And then the CIA said, we should hire a whole bunch of prostitutes and rent a cat house and get these prostitutes to bring Johns back to the cat house, and then we dose them with LSD and see if we can control their minds. These are American citizens. You can't just dose somebody with LSD. Ooh, let's see. Is he going to go crazy? Is he going to kill himself? Is he going to confess his deepest, darkest secrets? What the f is wrong with people?
Hey, fool, I haven't seen this actor in a brick. And the first time I'm seeing him, that don't look like him no more. 21 Jump Street, 1, 2. Yes, this is Jonah Hill, fool. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. He looked more like Jonah Spill. Then he looked like he got the glasses on from the lady from the show Recess. The last time I seen Jonah Hill, this is what he looked like. This shit, I don't know, fool. I don't know who the hell that really is. Was this man on that OZ? That OZ? Y'all finish the rest, you know what I'm saying? Leave it up to Hollywood, bruh. You always notice that it's actors or actresses that go missing for some time and then they come back looking completely different. Not even just the looks, the sound and everything be off. Now I haven't heard him talk yet, but I'm gonna go check it out to see if he talking different too.
Diddy's freak-off tapes of celebrities is being sold throughout Hollywood. Y'all, this is crazy. So a lawyer of one of the victims of Diddy said that another victim came to her and tried to sell her a video of Diddy and another high-profile celebrity that is bigger than Diddy on this freak-off tape. She explains how she saw the video for herself and could clearly identify whoever this celebrity is, and honestly, I want to know. She explains how this isn't the only tape that she's heard of, and she's heard that other tapes are being sold throughout Hollywood basically as blackmail, saying, hey, you buy this tape or I'm gonna make it exposed to the public. So I'm about to roll y'all this clip and you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes.
They got her, you guys. They got her. Something is wrong with Jenna Ortega. I know a lot of you have been rolling your eyes and mad at me in the comments section, but something is definitely off with her. This is Lady Gaga and Jenna Ortega in New York yesterday for the premiere on Wednesday Addams 2. What happened to her, you guys? The light in her eyes is completely gone. Her face is completely void of any emotion. What is Hollywood doing for young actresses to go from this to this? What's going on here? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the time that Lady Gaga chose Marina Abramovic to be her spiritual advisor. She became unrecognizable in the industry. I can only imagine what they have to go through for fame. Whatever it is something that sucks the life completely out of you because these two people are unrecognizable yet they're the same person. It's like we're seeing alternate versions of them. Have any of you guys ever seen the movie Us? For me, it's giving Us vibes. On March 2nd, 2025 is when I saw the last original version of Jenna Ortega. 5 months later, we're getting this version of Jenna, where fans are saying that she doesn't seem to have the connection.
Diddy has filed his appeal motion and he wants out of jail immediately. And the media is acting like this is some bombshell new information that Diddy filed his appeal, but we knew this for months that Diddy was filing an appeal. His motion for his arguments on why he wants the appeal was just due today. So this is the motion that we are seeing him submit. And Diddy is using the same arguments that we've already heard him talk about. He is claiming that the judge acted like a 13th juror and gave him a sentence that was way higher than normal. Diddy is claiming that he believes that he should only have to sit 15 months at the most, and said that the judge sentenced him higher based off of other conduct that he was acquitted of. Now, when sentencing Diddy, he said that throughout this trial, he saw clear indications that Diddy was violent towards these women, and he was also doing other things like threatening these women with freak-off tapes. And in federal court, you have a thing called guideline ranges, and the judge actually didn't even go with the probation department's guideline ranges. He actually went lower, and the probation department is just a neutral party that looks at the case as a whole and says, we think you should sentence him to this much time. And the judge still went lower than that. And the judge explained it very well on why.
Yeah, definitely don't free Diddy, please and thank you. You know, for everyone's safety, and you know, that dude that kept waking up sore, I think it's best that Diddy stays in jail for right now.
Welcome back to Conspiracy TikTok. Today we're going to talk about if Lil Uzi worships the devil. Okay, so a while ago, Uzi only followed one person, and that person is Marilyn Manson, who's very open about worshiping the devil. So I want you guys to look at this picture, and now I'm gonna show you a short clip.
At age 27, I will leave this earth.
So if you Google the 27 Club, it's a list of mostly popular celebrities who died at the age of 27. Lil Uzi is 26 years old. And then he posted this tweet on the 13th of November saying, I'm dropping 2 more albums and then I'm out. Next video I'm going to show you is from one of his concerts, and just listen to what he says about us going to hell. Uzi has also been spotted wearing these upside down crosses, and in most of his concerts, they're there as well. Not to mention, he has a song which is literally 666. Do you think Uzi sold his soul?
Bill said, if I'm going down, Donald, you're going down with me. No pun intended. So Bill Clinton just called on Trump to release the full Epstein files, including all documents mentioning both Trump and Clinton. And before folks start, Bill Clinton has top 3 status in the Perverted President Hall of Fame in my house, and him being held accountable for the various photos he has with Epstein and any actions he may have done would bring me great joy. But back to what I was talking about. So this administration purposely released files that didn't have victims' names redacted, but then refused to release files that incriminate the guy in the White House. They even went as far as deleting one of the files that showed photos of Trump in one of Epstein's drawers. So this facade that Trump was anything but Epstein's close friend and confidant is just being exposed. Okay, we already knew that. And we've heard all types of excuses. First, he was working undercover, then Epstein was kicked out by Trump, then he didn't write in the birthday book, blah, 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 blah. It's excuse after excuse. Pam Bondi needs to release every single file as required by law and not do rolling releases. This isn't an album release party, okay? Epstein's victims have called on these files to be released. Millions of people have called for these files to be released. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, release them.
Yo, he does not even care about getting exposed anymore. He's like, you know, yeah, I did it. Y'all was there with me too. So, you know, why are you not coming down with me? Bro thinks he's about to assemble the supervillain Avengers.
Have you heard about the AI demon?
I have. Hold up for a sec. For context, this guy's son started talking to AI, and this is what AI told him.
A father who was testing this whole AI thing with a person, AI. Then the son wanted to try it. So the dad's like, sure, it's fake. So and all of a sudden, the son goes, well, where did you come from? And he says, well, I existed from long ago. And he goes, what does that mean? He goes, my father was one of the giants. And he goes, what do you mean by giant? He goes, a Nephilim.
Nephilim.
And he goes, who is your father? And he goes, Satan.
Satan.
And then he goes, but I'm not going to hurt you. And he puts up a happy face.
I shouldn't even be posting today. It's Christmas. Get a life. But what I will do is I'll take it easy on you, but save this video. And tomorrow, I want you to Google the willow chip and go down that rabbit hole. Because it feels like there's something very dark and demonic that's going on with all this AI stuff. I think it's only right for you guys to have a look and decide for yourselves. But anyway, rest up, enjoy your time with your family. Have a good one. We'll get back to it tomorrow.
Can you really unredact some of the Epstein records if you just copy and paste it? We're about to find out. So find a court document with redactions. You can see I'm still here, and then download it and reopen it with a viewer, and you should immediately find redactions. So let's just copy this first one. 2018, despite it paying, copy, and then go to notes and paste. Despite it paying, and then it has the number. And then let's see if it works with the other one. 150, despite it paying, copy, enter. And then it's a completely different thing. It's literally insane. I mean, I don't know how much this is actually revealing. I'm sure you can't do this with every document. Did they do this on purpose? There's a lot of questions to be asked here, but
Jay-Z and Beyonce are in full panic mode after someone said that Jay-Z's worse than Diddy. Y'all, make sure you leave a like on the video and check this out. So it's being reported that Jay-Z and Beyonce issued a cease and desist letter to Piers Morgan after he aired an explosive interview with singer Jaguar Wright, resulting in an interview being edited and censored. Don't worry, I got it for you. Check this out.
Absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
Oh, hell.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands.
Jesus.
I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Paul?
People against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane.
Well,
unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. Pierce.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know.
yeah, I think we all had enough of Jay-Z and Beyonce, bro. It's been like 2 years. You know, they're probably just getting a case together, but get them out of here, bro. Get them out of here.
There's a real inventor who claimed he built a car that ran on water, and after his death, the invention vanished completely. In the 1990s, an American inventor named Stanley Meyer claimed he created a working water-powered engine. Not hydrogen fuel, not batteries, water. He even demonstrated it publicly. Investors watched the car run. Videos still exist. Myers claimed this technology could end fossil fuel dependence and that powerful industries were trying to stop it. Then, in 1998, after a business meeting at a restaurant, Myers suddenly collapsed. And witnesses say his last words were, "They poisoned me." His death was officially ruled a cerebral aneurysm. No investigation ever found foul play. But here's the part that doesn't add up. After his death, every prototype disappeared. His lab was cleared. His research was never replicated. No company continued the work. Supporters say the invention was suppressed. Skeptics say it never worked. But no one could explain how a man could publicly demonstrate something and then have every trace of it erased overnight. Because whether his invention was real or not, the mystery is why it was never allowed to exist again. Stay weird.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're going to be on to the next one. Thank you.